Hannah Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. You found it. I sure am glad you did. Hey, just from the onset of this, guys, I apologize. For any of you out there, you're like, what the hell's wrong with Jamie? I get my voice is a little off. I've been coughing and carrying on all day. I love my little nieces. Last weekend was Easter. We got to see them, of course. And so that means I'm sick as a dog right now. But let's go on what you do when you have little ones around. It's just how it is. I keep reminding myself, though, from what I've read, there's only 240 known strains of the cold. So I'm on like 225 now. I'm not going to get through them all, or I wouldn't want to. Anyway, being sick sucks. It's the worst. But I am glad we've got something else going on tonight. I was just telling these guys before we came on the camera and the mic and everything that I was so blown away. The fine folks over at Curtain Call Records sent me over their press kit. For those in the business, it's called the press kit, or the EPK. It's press kit, folks. And if you don't have one and you're in a young band or a new band, get your head out of your backside and make one, because you need to send that when you send to people like me or your PR people do, whatever. However, it's real nice to have the logo of the band, a list of who's in the band, what they do, etc., etc. A cool picture of the band for the web flyer. It's just a good idea. And of course, these guys have a fantastic press kit because everything they do is fantastic. I was blown away. I was watching some of the videos and I'm just like, holy moly, this is really good. Yeah. And there was a whole day when nothing but Fiction Parade was playing in my studio here while I was painting away. And for those who don't know, it's my day job. I'm a painter. And yeah, so there's some Fiction Parade. And I don't know if it's inspired, but it's definitely infused paintings we will be posting next. So there you go. Like I said, the name of the band's Fiction Parade. We've got links, clickable links down in the description and probably flying around your screen or something right now. Tonight, we've got Mike and John, Rick and Joel with us from the band. How are you guys doing, man?
Great. Phenomenal.
Fantastic. Now, you guys are on the East Coast here, right?
Yep.
Nice. Now, did you grow up? North Carolina area, I believe, if memory serves. Did you guys grow up in that neck of the woods?
Oh, yeah, man. Shasta County all the way.
Nice. I remember being a little kid and a headhunter. My father was looking for work, and he was an engineer, and these guys called headhunters would set meetings up and shit. And we all flew. We were living in Canada at the time, and we all flew down to North Carolina. And I'm like, man, what am I in the Wizard of Oz? I've never seen anything so green before. Like, it was just green everywhere.
Yeah, there's nothing here. You're right. Yeah, just trees.
It was amazing, though. It was amazing.
I've got water where I'm at.
Oh, but he didn't. We wound up moving to fun Detroit instead. What was it? Beautiful. Beautiful cars on fire. Right? From what I understand, Detroit's very nice today. Don't send me emails, people. I'll get it. When I lived there, not so much. Not so much. It's crazy. It's crazy. That's cool. Let me ask you this. Like I said, I grew up in Detroit. All of my friends were musicians. I've always hung out with musicians. Musicians are cool. They throw the best party. They know the most girls. It's just always fun hanging out with musicians.
Dan, if you say so.
No, but it is. It's very true. The problem
the sausage
being,
fest they got going there.
I don't know. The problem being with all of my friends, I remember they all wanted to start a band, and there was like 12 of them. And I'm like, guys, you don't have a band here, the makings of a band. You have the makings of an orchestra. And the problem is every one of you wants to be Randy Rhoads or Eddie Van Halen. You all play guitar. Somebody's going to have to learn to do something else to be in a band. Somebody's got to sing. You got to get a drummer. You can't do metal music with a drum machine. That ain't going to work.
Yep.
The 90s hasn't happened yet.
It's a whole band of lead singers. Yeah.
But did you guys, how bands usually met is there would be somebody that said, I want to do something. I want to start a band. And then they would look at the scene and they're like, that guy's kick ass on the drums. Let me go talk to him. Or you'd send your girlfriend over to talk to his girlfriend, set up a Denny's meeting or something. How did you guys all coalesce and come together?
Ooh. Oh boy.
That's a good one. Hey, Rick, can I take this one?
Yeah, you can.
This was Rick's band. Yeah, this was like Rick had a dream. And his dream was Fiction Parade. It was a pretty good dream. And all of his friends couldn't do it. So he had to find his enemy.
That's true. That is true.
They were all mad enough.
His enemies eventually couldn't do it either. So it was just like, Rick, me and you were like as close to original as it gets.
Yep.
Mike and I played music for
15 years.
Yeah, a long time together. Me and Joe, I'm pointing, but I'm sure he's not there on the
Pretty much syndrome.
Joel and I have played music together since Joel was a child, like baby person. And
He's still a baby person. What are you talking about?
No, Rick, you need to shut up. He looks as big as you on camera, right? And not beautiful, might I say. So,
Doing it a negative around.
yeah. So, at some point, Rick is an incredible guitarist. He doesn't play guitar in the band, but he was like, I want to be a lead singer. And then we all thought about it, and Rick beat our asses. So he was the lead singer.
Yeah, fun story. I've known Rick longer than anybody else in the band.
Actually, no,
Yeah. Because me and Rick played guitar together in a country project. Not Rick.
But me and you have known each other since you were a child.
I've known Rick longer than anybody else. Longer than you and Joel. Yes.
When?
I did the Earl Bullard. Shout out Randall Earl Bullard.
I've known you since you were 17.
You know me. I've known Rick longer than you've known Rick, is what I'm saying. Because me and Rick played guitar together in a country project.
Jesus.
That's true.
It's like originally like our connection. That's weird. I don't like that.
It's weird. I'm out here doing the Lord's work, man.
That being said, the band is an amalgamation of drummers and lead singers. And then some of us learned to play guitar. I don't know what the hell's going on here. That's where we are now.
Nice. It's cool that you finally found yourselves with each other, because it works really well. I've seen where things can work too well with the band and nothing gets done. And then I have seen where, it's like the Police back in the day. They hated fist fights and shit.
That sounds more accurate.
Oasis.
That hi-hat.
Oasis isn't
They
great.
hated that hi-hat. No,
We hate that.
it's cool when it works. It's so cool, and it has to be celebrated because it doesn't happen that often, and it's fantastic when it does. And it's really cool. That's very cool. Joel, you came, Mr. Hamlet. You came on the scene. It says on the thing here, right? It says Joel Hamlet Wise. See, so there you go. You're the Shakespearean of the.
This is coming out as Hamlet.
Oh,
Yes.
I had to make Mike's night. So
I gotcha.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joel. Joel, that is. Joel did that. Joel owned it, bro. Yeah, you're right. He's Hamlet. He's just Hamlet now.
Fantastic.
That dang hair, though, that pays me.
That was period appropriate, though.
Yep.
I'm assuming you're involved in the Shakespearean productions and whatnot.
He's in Green Tea Shakespeare about every weekend.
yeah, so you're about to see my wife because they've got to load some stuff in the car. I've actually been doing a show tonight with them. My wife is the CEO of Sweet Tea Shakespeare Theater Company in Fayetteville, in North Carolina. And so I'm her tech producer. So I take care of all the sound and engineering for that. And I play drums for them every once in a while when their drummer can't make it. I was one of those nights. So
Just like at the Old Globe in London there, Yeah.
I mean, that's how all their shows are. They're outside most of the time when we can be. When the weather's horrible, we're inside.
Nice.
Yeah. But they do everything from Shakespeare to Into the Woods. So like they've got a lot of good productions that they're doing. So they're about to do Robin Hood and King John this summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's all, I mean, that all of you guys have a little entertainment sawdust in your bones. Let me ask you guys, was that always the case when you were young bucks coming up and stuff? Did you know that some form of show day,
didn't learn how to play
you were going to be doing?
Real young, so I said my dad told me if I didn't learn how to play guitar, I was going to die real young. Start playing guitar because I ain't smart enough to do nothing else.
That is not true at all. Bill Evans is a wonderful human being.
Yeah, he is.
He just made that up.
No, he did buy. So my dad, like the day I graduated high school, my dad saved all this money for me to go to college. And he asked me, he's like, what kind of guitar? If you could have one guitar, what would you buy? I was like, I want a Les Paul Custom. And he's like, listen, I'm going to go buy you one because I saved all this money for you to go to college. I know for shit that ain't happening. So I'm going to go buy you this guitar. Do not let me down. So far, it's only been let down, but I'm really working.
Got to work on getting that pretty cool.
Yeah, I play it every night.
Yeah. Like, pay off that house. That's the whole thing. I'll tell you, we don't have any kids, and there will be so many times when I'm working with this giant backyard that typically turned into a nightclub, and I'll be out there working and doing something, putting in a new level on the fire pit or some shit because it was too smoky on one of our nights. And so I said, I got to solve that problem. I'll be out there working, and I'm like, man, it'll be real nice right now. A bunch of little me's to help out with this project because
you think that, you think that.
Yeah, then I'll be sick all the time. Plus, my wife and her family, I see my father-in-law, he's always outside working on the yard, and nobody ever goes out to help him. Yeah, and he's got three grown girls, and I'm like, I would have done things that my father was different. You never in your life would you ask my father for if you could have $20 because you would work like you were building the pyramids or something for a week at $20. Well, I started working. That's why when I got my first job. It was less work to do that than work for him.
My dad, funny story. My dad made me go to work with him one summer because I failed like 9th or 10th grade and then proceeded to put me at a job site verbally and physically. And then,
and then you got it.
I was like, nah.
Well, yeah, my dad didn't play. He was cool. He was the nicest guy I ever met, but there was no you'll be out to a restaurant or something and you'll see somebody's with their kids and the kids are like talking back to parents and shit. And I'm just like, I look amazed because I'm like, my father, I remember being like 16 and I had done something. Well, I got caught doing something. I'll put it this way. He picked me up at the state police post, two of my idiot friends. We were in the car, and I tried to be funny. I'm like, Dad, at least I wasn't selling dope or something. And I felt this whoosh, and he hit me in the head like a man, like a bar fight. And I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. So it was, you're old enough to be that cool. You're old enough for the consequences. But
the lesson there, and that's to any parents watching this whose kids talk back to you, just slap them.
Yeah.
Good uppercut will do it. Like,
telling you. My dad had a move like a gunslinger where he would go for his belt. We never got hit with the belt, but we were worried that was going to happen.
I'll be honest with you, man. Best thing that ever happened to me is my dad beat the hell out of me one night.
Oh, we said we weren't going to talk about Bill.
It's like therapy. It all comes out. It all comes out. But I wanted to ask you also, Rick, we were talking before we all came on, and I mentioned your background there and how that's so cool. I still can't help looking at it. Are you obviously a big Star Wars fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Since I can remember, actually.
Nice. Now, have you been watching all the Splinter shows and whatnot, Andor and all that kind of stuff?
Andor, Skeleton Crew, like all of it. Yeah.
Nice. I watched Andor the other day because I knew the second season. And I saw the ads were coming. I better finally watch this so I know what the hell's going on. The first episode was kind of like, I don't know. Got into it, man. I got into it. I don't know his name, but he was the main rebel guy. I don't know. Some TIE fighters. following him, and then he spun his ship around with a laser and cut them all in half. I'm like, that's a cool move. Haven't seen that before. I liked it.
I like it. I like it because they're tying it into the ISB, and then it's going to bleed into Rogue One eventually.
And it's amazing. I remember seeing the original Star Wars at the theater when I was little. And it really was a phenomenon. I have not seen, I don't know, maybe the last Taylor Swift concert. I just haven't seen something where people got on board so much with it. It was crazy.
False.
The one with the puppet? I'm
Not a
teasing
Frank
you.
Oz. He's not a Frank Oz guy.
Yeah. It's very true. No, I liked them all. I tell you, I really liked is that Rogue One.
Yes.
That was very Greek tragedy. I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but
I've seen it. That's on them.
yeah, I'll say this. It ends about, it reminds me of the Titanic, although I think more people lived in the Titanic.
Yeah.
I've never heard that analogy before about that one, but yeah, that works actually.
Yeah, it was very, what was the guy who wrote The Hunchback? I'm always giving my wife a hard time about him. I can't remember off the top of my head now.
That would be Joel.
I'm sorry?
So that would be Joel.
In the original book, nobody lives. In the Disney movie, doesn't end that way. I'm like, Disney it's Disney. What did you think was going to? Then she's like, it was Disney that did Rogue One. And I'm like, that's very true too.
Different Disney now.
They've gone sideways on a couple of things to me, but yeah.
Yeah. Did you go? Now, see, the big thing, they closed it, but they had that. It was too expensive. It was like $6,000 for the weekend. It was like you were a hotel and you were on a ship.
The one in Orlando.
Yeah, my wife's from Florida, so you have to understand her family worships at the Temple of Disney, like everything. They are into that. Me, myself, I work hard for a living, so I'm like, $21 for a cheeseburger? Are you kidding me? That seems a bit excessive. We could leave and go get a double Mac down the street here for $2.
The Yale James books.
I don't know. It's cool as fuck. That's all I'm saying. It's really cool. I was telling Rick, I had a college roommate that would have loved that. He was so bad. When guys, and it doesn't matter, I shouldn't say they all did. The majority of guys will reach a point when they're like 21, maybe to 23, some even longer, where you have to get the weirdest pet you possibly can. You're like, oh yeah, Nigerian fruit bat. That's what I need in my apartment. And they'll go get all kinds of weird shit. So at this time, I was away at college in Boston, and Jason was my roommate, and he was in that phase. And he went and bought a Pac-Man frog. This big frog was about yay big. It was ginormous. And all it did was sit in a tank, just sat in there, and eat anything smaller than it. So you'd put shit in there, and he would eat it. And he was happy doing that. So Jason, we all went to art school, of course, so we're all weirdos. Built him a Jabba's palace that he would sit in the middle of. And that's what he lived in, and he was very happy in it. And then the semester would end, and everybody would try to take these weird-ass animals home, and their moms would be like, no, get it out of the house. And so they'd get traded and sold to other students. Weird animal, always.
That sounds vaguely familiar to how we ended up with Mike.
You got to
get
a
weird
snake.
animal.
You're rockers. You got to have a snake somewhere. My wife's got a snake. Snake does nothing. It was a lot of money to buy, but other than that, it doesn't do much. Yeah, I know. It was so funny. When she got that snake, her parents came over to have a family meeting with us because they hate snakes. And they're like, look, the bottom line is, guys, we just don't want you getting bored with this snake and dumping it in the Everglades. I'm in South Florida. Like, people do that. And I'm like, guys, number one, do you know how much money how many paintings that snake cost? There's no way that snake is going anywhere. It's not going to happen. Too much invested in that snake. If anything happens, the snake were to bite me or try to attack me, I would eat the snake. That might happen, but not getting rid of it. I'm not eating any snake, and don't send me emails. So you guys met each other and everything, and the band formed, and you started making music and whatnot. How did that? Were you primarily at the get-go, were you going, okay, we're going to become more of a studio band? Or was there always that impetus, that drive to play live? Smart. Nice. Nice. I was at a party a couple weeks ago, and somebody, of course, go to these parties, and people always, they find out what I do with the podcast and whatnot, and they all have their insights. You know what I mean? One drunk gal was like, I don't understand how some of these bands, they get involved with booze and other stuff. And I'm like, because they're addicted to playing live. That's why. They can't find another drug like that. They're trying to. That's why they try all this other shit. It doesn't work. I said, do you think Mick Jagger needs to go out on stage? The guy owns islands and shit. I don't know. Those days are behind me. I can't do it anymore. I'm too old. I guess that works. Everybody, it's so funny here in South Florida because we live in an upper middle class neighborhood. We're 20 minutes south of Mar-a-Lago, so you know the crowd. And a lot of boomers in our neighborhood. And so you go to a barbecue or whatever neighbors are having. And man, the conversations go to gummies. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I never had this much weed conversation. When I lived in California, went to school in Boston. Never heard people so enthusiastic. They should put cold medicine in gummy. I would have eaten the shit out of those two. I don't know why they don't. Or vapes. Yeah. I'm telling you, we had those Flintstones, which were like schwa, was the worst. Yeah, just give me that bomb. And to my wife, I was talking to her on the phone this morning, and I said, we're out of cold medicine. I just ordered some. And she goes, you got the gels, right? I'm like, yeah, because I knew this conversation would happen. She goes, you didn't get the bottle of the cough syrup, the cold medicine. I'm like, no, because she goes, I know you'll just drink the whole bottle at one time and sleep for 3 days. I'll do it. Yeah, I said I was hallucinating this morning. It was crazy. I'm telling you, I do a morning blog every morning where I post celebrities and notable people's birthdays. And then 9 times out of 10, I painted a painting of that person. So I post the painting. Good advertising. So I go, but it takes an hour and a half every morning to do. So I get ready to do my blog and I'm like, no, I'm sick. Screw that today. No blog today. And Christmas morning, I'm doing a blog. It just doesn't happen. And so I wake up later and I look in Facebook and Instagram and I got all these messages from people. Are you okay? Is Mei Ling, your dog, okay? Yes, everybody. Yeah, I didn't want it. I had taken a bunch of cough medicine last night. I had no interest in dealing with any of that. Robo-tripping. Yeah. Disassociation. There's better things, man. There's better things. Let's score you some ecstasy. I'm kidding. I didn't say that. Don't do any of that. Stay in school. Sign up for extra hours. It's way better. That DMT is not your friend. Don't do that. I'd be afraid to do that. But you see all these celebrities now that are doing it and they have all these crazy stories. And I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to God. If I were to have a conversation with the Almighty, I think he might have some criticisms of me and my life so far. And I don't know if I'm prepared mentally to handle that. Yeah, exactly. It's a great relationship. You know what I mean? This is exactly why I do every house project around when my wife isn't home or around. And I just do it. And she's 99% of the time, she's, oh, that's great. That works fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad you did this. Because if I try to get her input before, it's going to be 4 hours of, do you think we could do it this way or that way? Or no, I don't. I just want it done. Did you get from your parents my father's big, it was almost like an Arabic curse or something. Someday you're going to have a kid that's just like you. And no, Rick will be back. He's still showing here. The weird thing is he's showing up on your guys' feed. See down in the corner here? There's Rick. Rick Rick, can you hear us out in the ether there? It's very weird. My brother and sister-in-law have 2 little girls, and the one little girl is like 3 going on 15, and she's a mean girl. She'll make you cry. She doesn't to me. She's nice to me, but boy, I'm like, yeah, I should have had boys. I think boys are work harder to, yeah, 'cause she is, woo, baby, to see it happening. Anyhow, hopefully Rick's coming back. We'll try to carry on until he does. You know what let's do? You,
Deep Dark Secrets, here they come.
if worst comes to worst, we'll put a picture of him up on the thing. Yeah, telling you, like I said, that video I've been playing, he like kicks in that. He's got his jacket on and his glasses and shit. I was very impressed with that video. And that's a fantastic. Let me ask you, we're going to play video where I'm stalling to see if we can get Rick back. But until we do, let me ask you guys, because you guys, every music video I've seen, here he is. There he is. All right, Rick. Very cool. No, I don't either. It's what we're going to do. Take 2. He isn't. Rick. Take 2. No, it's fine. Let me ask you guys about, I was just talking about how you guys, every music video, and Rick, in that one I've been playing, leading up, maybe that's it. You just really knocked it out of the park on there. Let me ask you guys, because I always ask my musician friends this about, grew up in the 80s. I'm an old man, but I look at music videos like they're art. I'm like, a good video is like fantastic. Stan Ridgway in that Mexican radio video, and then that woman's, his face comes out of that bowl of bacon. Brilliant, surreally brilliant. But I like music videos. But some of my musician friends, I ask them, I'm like, how do you feel about doing music videos? And it's a spectrum. They say it's a necessary evil. I hate doing them. They're a pain in the ass. And then the others are like, oh, I love doing them. They're great. Yeah, you listen to the same song a million times, but they're fun. Where do you guys fall on making music videos? Nice. I imagine it's like working with a good producer or finding a good producer and working with. Get ready for some comments. It's one of those. Sometimes not always. Yeah, what you guys were totally thinking here sucks. So we're going to go in this direction.
Yeah, you need that though. Like it really helps to really bring out the best.
But you guys, to be fair, I will listen to your music and I'll hear a little metal flourish or something. You sneak stuff in every so often. And it's very cool because you're like, oh, these guys aren't just pretty guys. They know how to play too. You know what I mean? But it's impressive. It's very impressive. Now, Joel, you're from a theater background as well. So music videos for you, just another day. It's a Tuesday.
Kinda. It's always different when you're with everybody else. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Good days and bad days.
I hear you. You guys' music's very cool, and I can see the mainstream appeal of it. But and some of your influences, YouTube, Muse, etc. I can see that as well. I'm like, well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because I'm a huge Muse fan, and a lot of my metal friends, how can you listen to that? And I'm like, the same way I can listen to Rush. You know what I mean? It's the same. It's very similar in that it's weird to me. I can't wrap my head around that. I'm like, yeah, look, I agree. It's weird too. My generation, I think you guys are a little younger, and I think that's good. One of the things I like about young music listeners, and I learned this being married to my wife. She's 15 years younger than me. And they're not as genre specific as people my age. People my age, they will wear a genre like they're somewhere from the Wall in the North or something. It's all they care about. And I'm not going to some shitty band or shitty music because they get lumped in with everybody else in that genre. They suck. And the same goes the other direction. I'm very impressed. I remember being in the car one day, and my wife put on her Sirius FM in the car, whatever. Put that on, some pop station, some shitty pop station. And I'm like, wow, this beat's amazing. This sounds like early Skinny Puppy. And she's Mr. Cool. Do you want to know who it is? She goes, this is the Taylor Swift. I'm like, with this industrial beat in the background? She's, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I can't deny it. I guess I'll turn in my cool cart. But it's just fun. But yeah, they're not John. And you guys, your guys' age of music listeners will make playlists that are insane. You'll have a country song, and then it'll go into like British rap, heavy metal, back to pop. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's very crazy. Rick is, I can tell Rick is trying so hard. He'll be back in a second, everybody. We'll replace the picture of Rick with actual video of Rick. We can hear you, Rick. We can hear you.
Yeah, this comes to thing.
Yeah, I can stand out.
Yeah, I can hear you. Unfortunately.
Yeah, he's got one of those Android phones. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Then he left.
You tried?
No, you're fine.
Turning it
Rick.
off and turning it back on.
Let me ask you, Rick, because you were gone during the great music video conference or debate. How do you feel about making music videos? Are they a necessary evil, or do you enjoy doing them? Yeah, it's awesome. Let's play a track so people know what we're talking about. We have two. We're going to do tonight for Fiction Parade. We've got Money and First Contact. What should we play first? Everybody sounds good? Yeah, that's what we'll do. Everybody, this is Fiction Parade, First Contact. Check it out. Here it is. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Fiction Parade. First Contact. Great track. And great name of the band. Who came up? We're going to talk about the track here in a second, but I got to know. It is such a cool name for the band. How did that come about? And he's here. We can hear him.
You can't see Rick, but he came up with that. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that's Rick's brain. This is like Rick's brainchild. And he just got us all suckered into it. We're like, yeah, I dig it. And honestly,
Absolutely.
it does work. I have to admit that.
He almost had a UFO counting when I went to North Florida. We all went to this pizza place called the
that's not
Mellow
true.
Mushroom Pizza or
That's
something.
not-
It was a
that's
hippie
not-
place. And yeah, these people were all kind of neo hippies and
Absolutely.
lived at the
Of
beach.
course.
And so we're in there, and
We
this
go
other
there all
hippie
the
runs
time.
in from outside, and he goes, "I just saw a UFO over the beach." And we're like, "What?"
Mushroom?
So we
It is
all
a
went out.
Jonathan
The whole
Fawkes
restaurant
chance.
went out into the parking lot to look for the UFO,
Yeah.
and it turned out he was just
Oakland,
really.
Florida.
Could be the case.
But if only
maybe it was
high
just
people
a
UFOs.
coincidence. That's true. That's true.
Right,
That's true. I
only-
don't know. There's a lot
that's
of
all.
people. There's a lot. Thing that got me the most was about a year ago when they on the UFO stuff started having all those pilots. I'm like, okay, so these are people that you're putting in charge of $1 billion piece of a machinery or whatever,
And now the dang White House has basically said,
and people aren't in the
there's
street
UFOs
like
and
freaking out.
We don't
Yeah.
know anything about them. I don't like that.
I love it.
That nobody knows about them. And then, but we've got experts, like they're all the crazy
Yeah,
people,
telling you.
crazy people who like have been
I'm
like they've
telling
been
you.
studying the stuff.
I haven't either. I just
Maybe
saw a
they're
hippie that
UFOs,
was
maybe
high.
they're-
at
I
Mellow
haven't seen
Mushroom.
any.
He
But,
claimed.
I'm looking. I'll tell you that.
Really? Wow.
Yep.
Let's go to the next track, guys. Let's go to the next track.
All right. Moving on.
It's probably why the UFOs are coming. They want money. Fiction Parade money. Should we talk about it and then play it, or should we play it then talk about it? What do you guys want? Let's play it. Let's play it because it's such a good track. Here it is, everybody. This is Fiction Parade
Whatever you want to do.
money.
Neon lights and those dollar signs, midnight lovers and twisted lies. Let's play games with each other's minds, live our lives in the dead of night. Money, give me that money. Better get that money. Slave to the money. Ain't nothing but the money. Give it to that money. Focus on the money. Ooh, that money. When you're born with a spoon, take a bite of the why be told to refuse by the lesser of men? You can do what you want while they do what they can. If you know how to play, then you know you can never be honest and never say what's on your mind. Gotta be heartless. Love will take all of your time. Gotta be flawless. One wrong move can end your life. You better want this. 'Cause like any game with a second try. Don't act like you're any better. Do what you want and don't stop. You got to lie, you make it. You're born to lose the wrong time. There will come a day when you're on a look at the end of the draw. That's when you realize it's the money or your life. The one of you has got to go. Gotta get that money. Give me that money. Better get that money. Slave life's gonna be tough. When you're down, you gotta get back up. When it ain't just a game to us, this thing that we know called money. You gotta get that money. When you're broke, life's gonna be tough. When you're down, you gotta get back up. When it ain't just a game to us, this thing that we know called money. You gotta get that money. When you're broke, life's gonna be tough. When you're down, you gotta get back up. When it ain't just a game to us, this thing that we know called money. Gotta get that money. When you're broke, life's gonna be tough. When you're down, you gotta get back up. When it ain't just a game to us, this thing that we know called money. Gotta get that money.
And we're back, everybody. That was Fiction Parade. What a cool name for a band. I can't get over it. That was Money. Very cool. And I was pleasantly surprised with that because I thought it was going to be a Pink Floyd cover. It is not.
I wish. I had
Let
my
me
damn
ask you the
way.
most
I mean,
annoying interview question
it's not out of
ever
the
that
cards.
you guys have probably gotten before. We'll get a million times. In your writing process, let me ask you this. There's a better question.
Hit me.
When people see my finished paintings, they see the finished painting. My wife's already signed off on it. The dog gave me the nod. It's done. Step away from it. So they see the finished thing and they think, Jamie rolled out of bed this morning and knocked that out. What they don't see is, and sometimes that does happen, and that's great. I celebrate it when it happens because it's rare.
Yeah.
What they don't see is me cursing it out, wanting to throw it in the street because it's fighting me and jump up and down on it. Now, when I hear a track like Money, it's so polished. It's so perfect. It is such a good track. And you guys don't have to answer if you'd prefer not to. I hope you do. Money is so great. It's such a great track. Was that an easy one or was that a hard
answer.
one?
We weren't even
That was
there.
the hardest song
Piece
on
of
the
cake.
record.
Piece of cake.
Shut up. Look, that was literally the last song to come together. Really, there was one more track on the record that came together later, but it came together easier than Money. Money was like an idea in Rick's head that I don't know that it was like he was speaking a language we didn't understand yet. And he once we got it and understood what he was trying to do, then it started flowing, but it took a year from that point to become the song that it was. Like it was a difficult song to make, but once it was there, it was like, it was worth it. It was worth the time and the effort.
That's amazing.
And it kind of like opened
That's
up
amazing.
new
And I'm glad you
doors
guys
into
answered
our
because
writing process.
there are young
If that
bands
makes
out
any
there
sense.
somewhere and who knows where, Billings, Montana, somewhere, and they're going through the similar process with their band and maybe their big song. To hear that, this part of it, you got
Yes.
whittling away at it. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We have a saying when we're writing songs, and we didn't invent this, but the saying is the song is king. It's going to tell you what it wants. And you just got to be patient and willing. That's all. You know, there's a million ideas out there. Don't try to put a stranglehold on one that's not ready yet. And that's just how we've always worked when we're writing. We're writing another record right now, and we're using that same process. And it feels like a free-for-all, but it's not, because you move a long way just by letting the flow happen. And
That's cool.
next thing you know,
That
it's
is
like,
cool.
oh, well,
And we've
there's
got
another
all your
record.
guys' links and
So,
everything down below. They're
yeah.
all clickable Folks, I always say this, when you find a band that you dig or an indie film, whatever it is, somebody that's making biscuits and they're the best biscuits in town, all of your, you never know. Maybe you like them. Anyhow, your friends are your friends because you guys all have common interests. That's why they're your friends. Let them know about it. You can share, hit that, add them to your playlist, your crazy playlists. All that helps immensely. And these bands are working, all these people, these creative people are working real hard, harder than you have ever realized. And help get the word out. And then you'll have a cool story. You'll be at a party and you're like, there was this band. I liked that. I shared them all over my social media. And then they became Guns N' Roses. And everybody's like, no, you didn't. Shut up. No, you didn't. Nobody will believe you.
A lot of pictures.
But you guys also had some incredibly cool merch on your website as well. People always ask me where to get. Yeah. They're like, you have these cool bands on the show. Where should I get? I always tell them, I don't want to be the one to let everybody's got Google. I'll say that. I will say this, bands and streaming sites, if that was any other business, people would be in jail on fraud charges. What I mean by that, folks, is there's a pie and there's slices to that pie. And you would be shocked and amazed what the streaming sites pie, how big that is compared to the band's slice of pie. So try to get your music. I always tell people at a merch table is the best place. But I get if you're somewhere out of the area or whatnot, get it out where you're going to want to get it. Yep. If you can, get it directly from but if that's not possible, you absolutely use the streaming site and do that. But check out, if you go to fictionparade.com, you go to their website and check out the store. It's really cool. And I don't know who you guys got doing your graphics and stuff, but I'm amazed. Really? I'm telling you.
It's Rick.
The giant monster one here. I love that with the giant.
Rick does all this.
Wish I would have thought of that, Rick. It's a good painting. It is. It's great. Yeah. But no, one of the great things about your guys' band too is you guys' lyrics are so great as well. I am one of those cats that will I'll hear a good turn of the phrase. I have books and books of these. And I'll write the particular lyric down and go, it's going to be the title of the painting one day. And then I'll do a painting and I'm like, my wife's, what are you going to call it? I'm like, I don't know. Let me grab one of these books and thumb through it real quick. Oh, this matches. I do that daily. Yeah. Look for Fiction Parade inspired painting title coming from me as well. Because they're great lyrics. It's great lyrics. Just a good band.
Amazing.
And you now have a friend in South Florida. I'm old, so I don't know any of the venues down here. I don't have any connects like I used to back in the day out west. Yeah, 15 years ago, I would tell you guys where to play in Vegas, give you the owner's name and number. I don't know any of that. But I always tell my friends in bands this, though. We do have 2 showers in our house. My wife's half Sicilian, and we have a guest room.
Look, we've always had,
absolutely
great luck in
everybody
Florida
keeps telling me to
general.
try to build a stage in the backyard.
We'll see you soon.
Not the DJ.
Don't worry about that. Yeah.
I'm telling you, another I look back there and I'm just like,
we'll play.
It never ends. I feel like what's that house? The Winchester House. I just keep doing stuff, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm sorry for the video issues tonight, but we'll get it sorted. It'll be very cool. I'll do a cool picture of Rick. No, but it'll give me an opportunity to do like a cool
Rick.
graphic.
It seems like Rick should be apologizing.
Glowing green around him.
He prefers glowing brown.
Folks, be cool, be patient.
You can make it glow
we're all getting through it. Great. It's a weird world. Be as cool as you can with people. If the waitress is taking an extra 5 minutes to bring you your Diet Coke, not her fault. And my other advice, since my wife's traveling on the airplane and told me a story earlier today, my advice, if you're going to be flying anywhere, I think they're hilarious. Your mission Don't wind up in a Karen video on YouTube. When the cops show up, you ain't going to win that fight. But just lay off the booze before you get to where you're going.
No one does.
Who knows what'll happen? Start drinking after you get there. You might meet a voodoo queen.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Yeah.
FictionParade.com. That's the band.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.